So after yesterday's server maintenance, we're now back online. Maintenance didn't actually take as long as TDU devs were expecting, but we can now come back to the April Fool's live weekly event from Test Drive. Obviously this one here valid up until the 2nd of April. Ryan Wilder taking charge of Solar Crown. We've now got the live events over on the Ibiza map, and that's what we're going to concentrate on today. The Fast and the Foolish, love the name. 2.2 mile domination race, it's clear, 56% gravel, 44% asphalt, cross country, daily driver or supercar, Grand Tourer category, 4-wheel drive, front wheel drive. Love the restrictions. It seems like they are listening to us, opening up the RP for these races. Over to the second one, we've got Spring Madness. Again, 63% gravel, 37% asphalt, cross country, daily driver, Grand Tourer, 4-wheel drive, front wheel drive. No cap on RP. It does seem like the devs are now listening, opening up the brackets, letting us choose what car it is we want to use. I, for one, love it. Now, of course, yesterday we did buy the Audi Q7 V12 TDI. That is still a mouthful for me to get around, and I was very surprised by this car. Now, a couple of people in the comments have actually spoken about the Q7 TDI and boasted, how good this thing actually is off-road. Credit to you guys. One I probably should have tried earlier, because this car was simply fantastic in yesterday's event. So we're going to have a little play about with it again today, but we're not only going to use the Audi Q7. Guys, welcome back to the channel once again. Please do smash up the like button and consider subscribing. Now, over on Ibiza, we're going to start off here with the Fast and the Foolish. The 2.2 mile domination, like we mentioned, cross country, daily driver, Grand Tourer. This is a nice open bracket. We can choose whatever car we want. 4-wheel drive or front wheel drive. Of course, the selection of front wheel drive cars in this game is not vast, but we're going to come into this one on solo mode, of course, using expert AI. We want to get that bonus of 40% for racing up against the expert AI difficulty. Now, of course, we've got a fairly wide variety of cars we can use. I'm going to take that Lancia Delta Integrale. I still love this car. It's one of my favourite cars of all time. And yeah, it's good to jump back into it and actually see, is it competitive enough? It's against AI, so we can probably answer that question before we even start the race off. But kicking things off with the Delta Integrale. Interesting, quite eclectic collection of cars we're up against here. BMW i8's Mini John Cooper Works, and of course another beautiful Lancia Delta Integrale. You guys will notice I don't put a livery on this car. It's just too beautiful. It's too beautiful for me to taint with a livery. There are fantastic liveries for the Delta, the Martini livery in particular, but it's just too beautiful a car in my opinion. I don't want to taint it with any liveries. But coming into the race itself, of course, with its rally pedigree, it's kind of why I wanted to choose it for this race. It should be OP in game. Unfortunately it's not, but I still love this car with it, with everything in me. 4-wheel drive, quite a short wheelbase, fantastic gearbox. I do have the short gearbox fitted to this one. With it being an off-road race, I like to blast through the gears as quickly as possible. It's obviously ridiculously nimble, it's ridiculously powerful, and like I mentioned, with that rally pedigree, this thing should be fantastic on these races. And we can see, for the most part, it is a bit of a handful. It does like to throw the back end out, as we're losing a lot of frame rates here, guys. Apologies for that one. I don't understand how that one's happened, because everything should be fixed now with us being in Season 3. I'll check that one after this video today. But yeah, the race itself, we can see it's not really all too much of a challenge here for the Delta Integrale. We're having a lot of fun. We can throw it into corners, we can let the back end slide out, especially on this, swamp style, muddy part of the island here. It's absolutely fantastic. Big drift, big power slide round the right-hander onto the tarmac. Right-hand, left-hand chicane there. Kind of getting a little bit tied up with myself into that one. Maybe took it a little bit too slowly. Round the right-hander again. Can we keep it off the wall? We do. We know that wall is going to stop us on a dime should we touch into it. Another tight right-hander here that does open up. Yeah, maybe losing a little bit of needed traction with the off-road tyres fitted at that interval. But when we come into the off-road section, of course, those off-road tyres do become OP. Big left-hander here, and again we do lock up, we do lose the momentum there, not having the best of outings here. But that's the beauty of what we've got here. We can come back and, go back at this race again, essentially. Like we can see, we're 43 seconds ahead of the rest of the AI on expert difficulty, so it's not going to be a challenge. We can come in with whatever car we want. I did actually consider coming into this one with the John Cooper Works, because it was front wheel drive, because we can use it in this race. I kind of opted against it. I kind of opted to use the Delta Integrale. I think it was a wise choice. As we could see, it was fantastic around that track itself. Completing this one off, being the 4th event of this week's live events, we do now have 40 points on the board, just 10 more to gather to complete the first 5 events. Rewards still staying the same, 22,800, 6,000 for the expert AI difficulty, the 1,800 for the driver assist bonuses that I have got attached to that one. So overall, yeah, it was, in my opinion, a very good selection, the Delta Integrale. I do love it as a car, I do like it in game. It could have a couple of tweaks, you know, the low speed steering, it does understeer quite a lot, which is unfortunate, but perhaps with a tune we may be able to balance that one out. But in my opinion, the Delta Integrale was a good selection for the first race, as we completely lose navigation. There's a brick wall in front of us, we're going to have to come back out of that one to get us up towards the second race for today. Let's take a right up here and we'll push forward to the second race for today, which is of course going to be Spring Madness, a 1.5 mile sprint, 63% gravel, 37% asphalt, and again, cross country daily driver grand tourer category, 4-wheel drive or front wheel drive is the selection of vehicles we can use for this race. Now for today I'm going to use the Q7. I enjoyed it yesterday, going to keep it on the expert AI difficulty for that 40% bonus for completing out the race. I did, like I mentioned earlier, I did enjoy using the Q7 yesterday. It's not a car I used in game very much, I had to buy it for yesterday's events. Yeah, I had an absolute blast using it. Obviously I'm still very biased towards the Lamborghini Urus, but I had a lot of fun using this one with that V12 TDI engine. It is ridiculously powerful and it does sound fantastic, and we can just push those cars out of the way like we just did with that black Delta Integrale. This thing's obviously an absolute tank. We can just push some of these cars out of the way, rubbing up against the Lamborghini Urus there, the Q7 very much coming out on top. Round the right hander, we can let the back end slide rounding us. Once again, with the short gearbox fitted to this, we can blast up through the gears, get the traction down with the higher gears that we do select coming out of some of these corners. And again, the ridiculous level of power that this Q7 does have. It's absolutely no challenge on some of these tighter sections when we want to get the power down and come out of them. Missing that wall on the inside, through the left-hander, underneath the tree, only just underneath the tree. It's actually quite a good circuit, this one. Once again, lots of nice, tight, quick turns that do land upon us. As soon as we come out of one, we are into another one, and I like that. A couple of little straights there. Probably could have carried a little bit more speed here, but I was quite cautious of those wooden posts on the left-hand side. As soon as you touch those posts, because the new wall riding nerf, that will stop you once again on a dime. It's much like just hitting a wall, guys, so be cautious with a lot of those posts. Some of the fences that we have here, you know, we can take them out and they won't stop us, which is alright. Yeah, I actually quite like the fact we can take out some of these fences and they won't stop us like we've just hit a concrete wall. Nice and tight section right here. We can let the back end of the QS7 flow around on us, around this right hander. Came in a little bit deep there, through the left hand, nice little chicane there. Yeah, as I said, we're over committing to some of these because we have the RP cap lifted. We've got a lot more power underneath us and we do come in a lot more boisterous into some of these corners, but we're nice and calm coming into that right hander, nice and tight up against the wall, back end flowing around. How are we with this one? We're not the cleanest coming in, but overall 34 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack into the left hander, push up towards the start finish line, where we do come to quite a sensational stop, crashing in to the water fountain. But again, we take the 10 points for winning that race, and we have now completed out half of this week's live weekly events. Now we can see there's 50 points still to get there. Go back in through every race, complete it one more time, and you'll complete this live weekly event. My focus is going to be going back and bettering the times I've already put in. I came in casually, I want to go back in competitively and earn those points again. Another 22,800 on the board once again, with the same AI difficulty and the same driver assist bonuses. So there we go. That kind of caps off all the events that we do have for this live weekly event from TDU. Now, like I mentioned, I've kind of walked through all 5 races in today's and yesterday's video, and I've done it in quite a casual fashion. Now, it has got my brain starting to think that, you know, we can come in casually in an unmodified car, an untuned car, and have very competitive races against the AI. We can then go back and revisit those races with a tuned car, with all the parts fitted that we can, and have a competitive race against the leaderboard. That's my thought process going forward, that the initial races we're going to do with stock cars, and then we'll go back and revisit them with tuned cars. I think it's going to create a bit of an interesting dynamic. After playing about with the AC427 in the stock format against AI, I absolutely loved racing a stock car. So that's where this new thought process comes from, the way I'm going to kind of tackle these live weekly events that I still absolutely love. come in, first attempt in a stock vehicle, second attempt we'll go back in with a tuned modified car and have a real competitive race. If that's something you guys want to see, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Additionally, please let me know what kind of car you guys have been using for these events. It's interesting to see what you guys obviously choose. There's the meta cars and then there's the favoured cars. Please let me know what your guys' favoured cars are for all of these events that we have covered off this week. Once again guys, I do hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please do smash up the like button and consider subscribing if you have not done so already. Stay tuned for more updates from Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown.